Sally Telly!
Liam, have you ever tried to keep something clean?
Yeah, I have. I've tried to keep my room clean.
Me too. And why do you think it's so hard to keep things clean?
Because, you might find something that's hard to get rid of and stuff just puts obstacles in your way.
Piles up, doesn't it? Yeah. Well, today's Bible verse from Jesus says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Jesus was talking about keeping our hearts clean, but I don't think he meant with soap. What do you think it looks like to try and have a pure heart or mind?
Well, you could show it by being kind to other people, and you could help people in their stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Why do you think that's hard sometimes?
Because, you might be too kind at some bits. I'm not saying to be too kind, but it sometimes gets annoying when you're actually that kind,
Yeah. What things would you say help you stay focused on Jesus?
The Bible.
Definitely. Me too. That's a good one. So, today we're going to see how God is with us as we try to keep our hearts focused on Jesus. And while it's not always easy, no, but God stays close while we try. So, what are we waiting for?
Kamua kamuri.
It's time to look back at the stories of the Bible so we can move forward as lifelong followers of Jesus.
Kia ora tamariki mā, and welcome back to The Word. One of my favourite stories from the Bible when I was a kid was about a guy named Daniel. Daniel and his friends had some mean-as adventures, but they also had some pretty tough things happen to them when they were young. You see, they were a part of God's family that was captured from Jerusalem and taken as prisoners to live in a different place, far, far away from home, named Babylon. Today, we call this place Iraq. It must have been hard for Daniel. Everything was different in Babylon, from the way they dressed to what they ate, and definitely how they worshipped God. Even though this time was really difficult for him, Daniel made the choice, both in his heart and in his head, to stay pure and stick to the values he'd been taught back home in Jerusalem. He knew he always wanted to put God first, and that meant he had to try to follow all of God's values, even in this strange new land. Daniel could tell this wasn't going to be easy. It wasn't that he was being treated badly in Babylon. In fact, he and his friends got to live at the palace and go to school and learn. They were given what looked like really fancy foods to eat and flash-as drinks. But Daniel knew this wasn't how God had asked his whānau to live. They'd been given some values to live by, and back home these were easier to follow because just about everyone was living by them. Here it was different. The people of Babylon didn't understand. "You're joking, right? Why wouldn't you want to eat our food and drink our drink? It's the best in the world." How could Daniel help them understand that keeping his heart pure was important? You see, the attendants were worried that Daniel and his friends, if they didn't eat the food, they would become weak and get sick, and then they wouldn't be able to focus on their learning and training. Daniel had a brainwave. "What if you give us like a 10-day trial? During the 10 days, me and my friends will only eat vegetables and we'll only drink water. At the end of the 10 days, you can line us up next to all the others and compare how healthy we are." The attendant agreed, and so for 10 days, Daniel and his friends only ate veggies and they only drank water. All this time they kept praying to God and kept their focus on Him. At the end of the 10 days, they were all lined up, and what do you know? Daniel and his friends looked healthier and stronger than all the others. Their attendants also noticed that their brains were sharp and they were remembering all of their lessons. So it was agreed that they could continue to be true to the values that they had lived by back at home, and as they did, God honored Daniel for his obedience. Daniel grew strong and capable, but he always remembered to honor God and follow Him. He prayed every day. Actually, He prayed 3 times a day, and this helped him to stay strong spiritually. Daniel's heart remained close to God, and God continued to provide for and protect Daniel and his friends, even when they were thrown in the fiery furnace and when Daniel came face to face with some hungry lions. I think Brentley and Missy are going to tell us some more about this story in the deep dive. As lifelong followers of Jesus, it's not always easy to live God's way, loving Him and loving others. It's not always easy to keep our hearts pure. Daniel kept his heart focused on God when he knew that following others was going to pull him further away from what he believed. Maybe you have a situation like that in your life. It probably won't be about what you're eating or drinking, but maybe it's about how you treat people or how you show respect. I wonder how different life would be for you if you stand up for what you know is right.
Kia ora, Sally Telly, and welcome to Wellington Zoo. Now, I've brought Brent here as a special treat because I know that he absolutely loves lions.
I'm the king of the jungle.
And the reason he loves lions is because he loves the story of Daniel, the story that we just heard. You know, Daniel loved God with all his heart, and that's what helped him keep his heart pure. And he was committed to praying and talking and following God. In fact, sometimes it even got him into trouble, and he was thrown into the lion's den. And that's why we're here today, to see the lions. Of course, in typical Brentley fashion, he's done what only Brentley could do. Check it out. Brentley, where are... Oh my God.
Hi, Sally Telly kids. This is the best day ever. I'm at the zoo. Missy, thank you so much for bringing me here. I love lions, and I can't wait to go see them. Can we go?
Yeah. Okay, you guys come with us, Sally Telly. Let's go.
Where are we going? The lions.
Yeah, that's there. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, Missy, come on! Wow, look at this. Oh, I'm a lion. Nice to meet you. I'm the king of the jungle. Missy, come on! Oh, we made it! Sally Telly kids, we made it to the lion's den!
Wow.
Well, Missy, Sally Telly kids, we made it to the lions part of the zoo. Man, lions are so cute. Don't you just want to give them a big cuddle? I know I would.
Oh, Brent, lions are really awesome, but giving them a big cuddle might not be the best idea. You know, lions eat meat, right? As in, like they eat people?
Wait, what? Lions can eat people?
They can eat people.
Wait, that's... What? Oh, okay. But they're still so real cute. You know what? Daniel must have been absolutely terrified. I mean, why would he jump into a den of lions? I mean, that's crazy.
No. Remember, Brentley, Daniel didn't choose to be thrown in the lion's den. He got put there by the king. You see, the king wanted everyone to focus and pray to him. But Daniel loved God with all his heart, and so he said no, and that's how he ended up in the lion's pit.
That's right, now I remember. I'm just thinking, what if Daniel, like, just go with me here.
Yeah.
What if Daniel was like a ninja, you know, and he had all these... Do you reckon he could have actually done something to those lions?
I mean,
What do you think?
yeah, you're right. He could have. I'm not sure he was a ninja, but he was really good at staying super focused on God. And staying super focused, that's kind of a ninja skill, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure it wasn't easy for Daniel. He probably was terrified, but he chose to do what he'd been practicing outside of the lion's den, and that was keep praying and praising to God. All his practice doing that throughout his life helped him for the really scary situation that he was in. And that's how he kept his heart focused on God and not drifting onto the negative stuff.
You know what? I've never been thrown into a lion's den, thank goodness for that. But there has been times where I've been really scared, I've been afraid and lonely and stuff, and other things as well. And those are the times where I've had to keep practicing, focusing on God. You know, and there's a couple of things I do, which I'd love to share with you that helps me to focus. One of those things is by just talking to God, so praying and just turning my whole focus on Him. The second thing I love to do is play my guitar and sing worship songs. And it actually just turns my heart back to God and it brings me peace.
We can be like Daniel and practice focusing on God. And when we practice focusing on God and praying or listening to music, some of the things that you've talked about, that's how we focus on God. And that's what having a pure heart means. Staying focused on God and the good stuff that He brings in our lives.
That's awesome, Missy. Well, Missy, these lions have been so cool. Oh, little fellas, I've been so stoked to see them. Missy, can we go and see some more animals? Because there's so many more. Like, we want to see the chimpanzee and the giraffe, and I want to see the otters, and I want to see the pigs, and I want to see everything. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
So I'll start learning to speech, start learning to live like you teach, so others can be made brand new and help the world around them too. Could I be a part of the way, Jesus, that you can bring meaningful change? The world will see the good you do and give the glory back to you.
God's way of doing things is so different to the world's. Jesus taught his followers that life would have some pretty hard times, but being blessed didn't mean easy living. It meant knowing that God would be with you no matter what to help you through.
Exactly.
This week, when there are lots of things to distract me from God, I'm going to remember the real #blessed. We have a God who is always pure, and that God loves us and stays close to help us, and that is the best blessing of them all.
Don't forget Sally Telly. God sees you, God hears you, and God's family, you're included.
Ki te kia koe te atua, me rongo ko koe tōna whānau, ka kite!